Hey y'all, welcome back to Boots and Bounty Homestead. We are back in Casey's kitchen today, and I've got a little new spin on a recipe that I've done before. So I will link the recipe here, or the video here, sorry. The video right here, and you can go back and watch it. The original video is my egg rolls. Well, we are going to do something a little different tonight. We've got cabbage that I just picked out of the garden. I've got to let them soak in the sink in some cold water to soak the heat out of them because it's been a little warm today. And then we've got some kohrabi that we're going to shred, and also some carrots. This is going to go into making a egg roll in a bowl, or as some people call it, cracked slaw. So let's get to getting all of our stuff ready, and I will show you how to put all this together. So first of all, here in the sink, I've got the very last two cabbage of the season. I was waiting on these to get big enough, and they have. So these are going in the sink in some cold water, so we can get to soaking these, soaking the heat out since they've been outside. They're a little warm. And we'll do this while we're getting everything else together. I'll go ahead and take off these outside leaves here. There we go. Let this soak in the cold water. And these leaves will go to the chickens. This one's got a few critters on it. Okay, we'll let these soak for just a little bit until they cool off. Use about 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes or so. So while that's soaking over there, we're going to go ahead and prep our next few items. I am going to add kohrabi, since I have it, into this recipe, and it'll be part of a substitution for the cabbage. I'll just use what I can of that, and then we can go ahead and use some kohrabi. And then you'll also need to grate some carrots. So we're going to work on that in the meantime. So here I've got an old school food processor. This is a slicer, shredder kind of thing. And I'm going to put this blade on there with these eyes right here. Put them on facing the vegetable side, because if you put it on upside down on this one, it will slice. Alright. Alright, so to prepare the kohrabi, we need to peel the outside skin off. If you've watched some of my recent videos, when I talk about kohrabi, I have learned to peel the skin off. So we're going to do that real quick. My advice, to get a towel, put it over your hand while you're holding this, and then to peel the skin off, because I got a little boo-boo right there. I watched it go right in my skin, and I pulled it right back out. So I'm going to skin this real quick, and then we'll be right back. I've got it peeled. I'm going to go ahead and cut this end off, because this is the bottom where the root was, and it's real tough, so I've got to cut that off. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and quarter this so it will fit in my processor here. I like to put it in 6 got it cut up here. I'll let you listen to the music for a second and I'll be right back. Okay, now that we've got that shredded up, I need to shred up some carrots. That's going to end up being about a cup. I don't really have a measurement for this stuff, I'm sorry. So, these are our fresh carrots. Let me go wash them real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, these are homegrown and really sweet. Even my little lady friend. We'll cut the ends off. Oops. Cut the thin roots off. Save everything for stock. And then these will go in here as well. Okay. Well, dirt never hurts. And now I say I don't have measurements for this stuff. You look at me. I don't have actual measurements for this stuff. Because if you're one person, you can, you know, just make enough for maybe 2 meals. Or if you're a family of 6, you're going to need more. So just kind of eyeball it once you get your cabbage cut up as to what you want to put in there. I'm going to use 1 medium head. We'll see how far that gets because this is the flat Dutch cabbage and it's looser woven than the store-bought, where the store-bought's really tight. My cabbage is not. The flat Dutch is a little bit of a looser cabbage, so I may end up having to use both of the heads of cabbage that I have over there. Also, if you are planning to do this recipe, this is one thing that I do. I can get chicken breast, the skinless, boneless chicken breast, put it in the Instapot, or go ahead and cook up enough like to use for 2 or 3 times, and then that way whenever I cook it in the Instapot, take it out, I shred it up, then I can use that in multiple recipes. This is what I'm doing. I've got some in the refrigerator that I cooked this week that we are actually going to include in this. So if you want to use pork or chicken, even ground beef, and you can make it more of a Korean dish, whatever you want to do, be thinking about that. So if you have some leftover meat or whatever and you want to throw into this, that'll be just fine. If you want to go back to my original video, which is the egg rolls, and actually do the actual egg roll, go back and watch that video. This is just going to be everything minus the egg roll, actual outside. Because we are eating fresh now and we are trying to use up what's in the garden and what's coming in the kitchen. Alright, let's get back to it. While I was getting my chicken out, I also saw some leftover rice that I've got in there. You can also throw rice in this as well if you'd like. It's a whatever you want to throw in here kind of deal. Something else that's optional is you can either use ground ginger, which I have here, which I keep on hand for my recipes like fire cider and stuff. You can use that, or you can buy fresh ginger root, which is what I used in the original video. You can grate up the ginger root, and it needs to be a fine grate, really small. So whatever you got on hand. The next thing is I use hoisin sauce. This is a little sweeter. It does have sugar in it. So if you have, you know, a problem with sugar intake, I would not use this. I would substitute this with soy sauce. If you have a problem with salt intake, like low pressure or something like that, then get the low sodium of anything. Get low sodium anything. But this is what I'm using for the recipe. This is my favorite. And it has changed all the world of taste in this dish. Because I started out making it with soy sauce. I seen a recipe with hoisin sauce, and I'm like, okay, well, let's try that so we can get a little more authentic. and it was a whole lot better. Okay, so we've got our chicken out, and then we've got our kohrabi and carrots shredded. So now let's go over here and check on the cabbage. We need to get it shredded so we can get it in the skillet cooking. So we're over here at the sink with our cabbage. It's doing real good. This is my smaller head. And then this is my bigger head. Can you pick it up? There's so much water in it. That's my bigger head. I think we're going to go ahead and use this one tonight. I can tell by soaking it in the water that it has hardened back up and gotten crispier. Because being out in the heat, it, you know, kind of went limp on me, it being in the afternoon. The best time to pick your leafy vegetables is first thing in the morning. So that way they're really crispy and sweet. But we had to do what we had to do. Alright, so there's that one. And that one has a bug. Go away. Like I tell my people that get cabbage from me, slugs are free. Okay. So 2 options here for cutting it up. You can shred it like in the processor here like we did. With your KitchenAid attachment or something like that, however you decide to do it. Or you can shred it with a knife. Just cut it real thinly. It's however you want to do it. Now, my preference would be, this is just my opinion, and you can try it either way. I would shred your cabbage and kohrabi, carrots, whatever you're putting in it. I would shred it for the egg rolls. That way, you don't have these big chunks as you're biting into it, and you pull half of it out as you're biting into the egg roll. You know what I mean. And for the egg roll bowls, if you want to have a little more substance that you can pick up with a fork, then go ahead and cut it with a knife. I would still shred the other 2, but cut the cabbage with a knife. That way you have a little more substance to be able to stab and pick up and eat like a salad, rather than chasing it around the bowl like coleslaw, if you know what I mean. So let's cut the cabbage up real quick, and I'll show you how I do it, and then we'll get it cooking. And also, this is the chicken. I cooked in the Instapot. This is just regular chicken breast. I cook it in the Instapot for 12 minutes, and it doesn't really matter how much you have in there. I haven't found that it affects it at all. But then I put it in my KitchenAid, or you can put it in a bowl and use a hand mixer, and then shred it up. And then you can store it and use it in multiple recipes. Okay, we've got our cabbage here. I've got it on my makeshift cutting board. This is on a drawer. I don't have a whole lot of counter room, so this is what we're going to do. Also makes it easy for the garbage can to catch your tidbits. Whatever you are cutting off and need to throw away, you can just scrape it off, put it in there. Alright, let's go ahead and we'll turn this upside down. Let's see if we find any critters, because I have had a slug problem this year. Yay! So far so good. Oh, there's a little one. That's a big one. Good God. Look at there. Okay. Be right back. Let me go wash that off. Then cut the rest of it off. I think I might have a stroke if I cut a slug in half. Oh my goodness. Okay. And then this core right here with the Fight Dutch is, see how spaced out it is? How airy they are? They're not tight like a store-bought cabbage. That's what I meant earlier when I was saying, you know, they're a little bit looser. Alright guys, we are going to cut this kind of thin. I like my strips to be like this. Pretty thin. Now if you run into any sections like this, that's the stem, just get rid of that. It's not going to cook down very well. So just take them out as you come to them. Because I don't know about you, but I don't like to bite into something like that and then it pull half the food out of my egg roll. But if you like it and want to leave it in your bowl, that's fine. If I was cutting this cabbage for the egg roll, I would keep it really, really thin. As thin as I could get it. Let's go ahead and get a skillet out. Other than my cast iron, this is my favorite. I got it from Sam's. It's a Tremontina. Love it. So, we're going to go ahead and put this in our skillet. And we'll just set it on the stove for a minute. Let's go ahead and get the rest of this cut up. So we've got all of our cabbage in here. I like to put sesame seed oil on here and just kind of toss it around and let it cook in that. You can use vegetable oil, canola oil, whatever oil you want. Just beware of how strong some of them can taste. Like the coconut oil, that may give it a little bit different flavor than what you're looking for. So let me get the sesame seed oil and we'll just drizzle it on top. Okay, so I've got pure sesame seed oil. We'll go ahead and turn my eye on medium high. And we're just going to drizzle this on here. Now sesame seed oil is a fairly strong oil. Okay? And you don't want to cook this at high temperatures. Having a non-stick pan, make sure that you're using silicone utensils so you don't scratch it and make it non-stick. So let's go ahead and toss the cabbage and get the oil kind of spread out among all the little leaves. Share the love. Okay, that looks good. So we're going to let this start to cook, and we'll go ahead and add in the kohrabi and the carrots. Here they are, all shredded up. And then there's the kohrabi underneath. And we're going to go ahead and pour all of this together. And like I said, you can use any amount. I'm going to say probably this is going to be about 3 cups of cabbage. About 1.5 cups of kohrabi. And about 1/2 cup of carrots. And now these homegrown carrots are going to be really sweet. They are really going to bring out the flavor. So if the hoisin sauce is going to be too sweet for you, then homegrown carrots will be fantastic with just soy sauce. I'm just coating the kohrabi and the carrots as well with the sesame seed oil that's remaining on the cabbage that's already in there. Breaking up any little pieces that the shredded may be stuck together. Alright, come here and take a look. There you go. Isn't that pretty? Get y'all situated. Now the rest of the cabbage I'll just give to the chickens. And now we wait. We're going to let this cook on medium high, depending on your stove and what skillet you're using. If you're using cast iron, you want to keep it on medium. Let it heat up first and then keep it on medium. But this will a snack. This is going to cook down. This should be enough to feed 4 people easy. Alright, I'm going to let this cook down and we'll be back. Alright, it's been about 5 minutes. And the cabbage and kohlrabi and stuff has soaked up all the oil. And it's starting to stick just a little bit on the bottom. So I'm just going to drizzle just a little bit more of, well, a little bit of vegetable oil. Isn't that cute? Just to give it moisture instead of putting water in here. Because the cabbage already has enough water in it. Alright, let's keep cooking. Alright, so this is cooking down nicely. Looks real good. The cabbage and everything is softening up. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and add the ginger. Now you can add ginger to taste, okay? Let's see. Let's going to do, I'm probably going to do about a tablespoon. I'm not going to lie. That ain't coming out. Okay. My hand wasn't going to cut it. And then let's mix this up. This is about halfway done. So we're going to go ahead and add our hoisin sauce. But for the hoisin sauce, we need to add 3 tablespoons into a little bit of water. So let me show you how to do that. So here I've got about 1/3 of a cup of water. And this is not open yet. Alright, we're going to open this. And I'm going to use 3 squirts for 3 tablespoons, okay? 1 big squirt, 2 big squirts, 3 big squirts, okay? Looks like dookie. I know you guys can see that. So, this you're going to have to probably get a bigger bowl. But you've got to mix the water and the hoisin sauce together. Then we're going to pour it over. And you're going to have some in the bottom. Make sure you pour a little bit and then stir a little bit more. Get it all in there. This stuff is pretty thick. Now with this in here, it'll go ahead and finish cooking that cabbage and kohlrabi and carrots and start soaking up that flavor of the hoisin sauce. I'm going to go ahead and add my chicken now because this is plain chicken and I want it to go ahead and start soaking up some of that flavor as well. So we'll just stir this in and let everything be merry for a few minutes. You can cover this if you would like. Not necessary, but you can if you're having a moisture problem where it's getting too dry and you can't keep enough in it. You don't want to keep adding stuff, either water or oil. So if you want to and need to, you can go ahead and put a top on it. I'm going to see how it goes. Now that we've got the water and the hoisin sauce in here, everything should be fine. It should finish cooking up nicely. Alright, we'll give it a few minutes. We'll be back. Now with this dish, as well as a lot of my other dishes, if you have some extra vegetables, say zucchini or yellow squash or radishes, turnips, whatever you want, whatever's, you know, in the refrigerator you may have one or two of, or if your vegetables are just coming in and you only have one or two and don't really know what to do with them. This is one of those dishes that you can throw those in and it'll help be a filler, where it's a lot more healthy for you. The more vegetables that you put in it, you know, the more that it'll be healthy for you. You can also use like snap beans, like a stir-fry mix, or bean sprouts, or microgreens, anything like that. You can throw all that in here. I actually have some kale over in the window I meant to grab. You can put kale in here as well, because it's a leafy green. So anything like that, if you just want to chop it up, put it in here. Again, it's one of these that you can throw anything you want to in it and make it your own. So let's get back to cooking because we're almost done. Here you guys go. Got her all done. Now see what I mean by shredding the stuff? It gets to be almost mush. So that's why I don't want to shred the cabbage whenever I'm doing it in a bowl. If I'm doing it in an egg roll, then yes, shredding is a lot better. There we have it. Egg roll in a bowl. Alright guys, thanks for stopping by Casey's Kitchen here at Boots and Bounty Homestead. I hope you enjoy this recipe. Let me know what variations that you're going to do for your family and how it turns out. So until next time, enjoy. Bye guys.